Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Olusojadeumi and I'm going to take us on an easy to follow tutorial on how to optimize the use of Zoom. Now, Zoom is essentially a simplistic and powerful video conferencing software. I'll be showing you how you can effectively deploy the use of Zoom for online classes. All right, that's it. Let's jump into Zoom. Before we begin, we'll quickly like to look at some tips for better online teaching. Now, the first is to utilize PowerPoint to effectively support your presentation. It's a good practice to have only the minimum required text on each slide. Too much text distracts your audience and it can be difficult to read. You have to be consistent in your choice of bullets, fonts, and colors. Also, it's expedient that you avoid using too many colors. Avoid using too many fonts and styles as well. Make the size of graphics big because size implies importance. The next tip is to plan your classes. Typically, in a virtual classroom, class time is short and students have the expectation to learn as much as they can in that given time period. This is why it's very important to plan your lessons beforehand so that you can make the most of that instruction time. The next tip is to record your lectures. A lot of scenarios may play out in this instance. Students may be struggling with internet access and stuff like that. So ensure you record your lectures and send those lectures to them, to the students, to watch in their own time. The fourth one is to show your face. Lecture videos that show faces are more effective than simple narrated slideshows. So show a video of yourself in between your slides. And the fifth tip that we're going to look at is to keep your video short. Videos longer than 15 minutes can cause issues of slow downloading and learner distraction. So if you have more to say, you can record 2 or 3 short videos. Okay, so once you've started your meeting as a host, you will notice a number of settings on your toolbar. So these are in-meetings controls. You have the mute stroke unmute, the start stroke stop video, you have the security, you have the participant, the chat, you have the share screen, record, breakout, reactions, and of course you have more. So we're going to look at these controls to look at their functionality. So this is a toggle. The mute stroke unmute is a toggle, so you can unmute yourself and begin talking. You can click on the unmute button, that's the microphone, and when you click on this arrow, you can actually select your input and output device. So if you're using a headphone, you could select the headphone system in this flyer. And when you go to the start stroke stop video control, you can choose a virtual background. You can actually choose a video settings. So if you want a different webcam or you want to adjust your video settings, you have to click on this control. Now in the security control, the following settings can be enabled from the menu. You have the lock meetings. You can lock the meeting. Once you lock this meeting, it keeps new participants from joining the meeting. You can enable waiting room. You can hide profile pictures. And as regards the participants, you can allow them to share their screen. You can allow them to chat. You can allow them to rename themselves, to unmute themselves, also start a video. Now, if you uncheck any of these, the control will be taken away from them. So if you uncheck the chat, that means that they will not be able to chat themselves or chat anyone. And if you uncheck this, they will not be able to rename themselves. If you uncheck this, they will not be able to unmute themselves. So these are some controls that we can use to keep the class quiet. Now, under the participant, the panel will show you those that are actually in the meeting. So the participant panel will allow you to select a specific participant to either mute or unmute. So if you go to, there are two people here, myself and one other person. So if you go to the more button, you can actually make this participant a host. You can make him a co-host. You can put him in the waiting room. You can remove him. So these are some of the controls. And of course, you can ask him to start his video. So these are some of the controls that you can have as regards participant. It's expedient to know that you can actually mute every participant from this box. So if you click on mute all and you click on mute all again, of course, they will be able to unmute themselves. But if you don't want them to be able to unmute themselves, you have to uncheck this box and of course click on mute all. There's no way they can cause any interference to the lecture. So whether they are joining afresh or they are in the room, there's no way they can actually unmute themselves. So this is one control that you can have to keep the class quiet. Now moving on to chat messages, you can click on this icon to send messages to everyone or to specific people in particular. So if you want to send to everyone, all you need to do is just type in this box and then hit the enter button and to send it to everyone. And if you want to send to specific people, just click on that drop down button and select the person in particular from the list and it goes directly to the person. All right, and that takes us to the record button. So you can actually record your session by clicking on this record button. So by default, only the host of the video is allowed to record the meeting in Zoom. So once the meeting is set up and the participants are present, you can start recording the meeting by selecting this record button. Alternatively, you can record when you share your screen. So we're going to look at that under share screen. So if you would like to share your screen, all you need to do is just click on the share screen button and that takes you to this environment. Now, so you could actually share a number of things. You could select from any of these screen share options. This is one, this is another one, and of course this is another one. But by choice, I like to share, always like to share my desktop so that I can pick anything from desktop and it will be seen. So once you click on desktop and of course click on share, it shares your desktop. So you can now share a PowerPoint file and start presenting. And then of course the in-meeting controls also come with the share option. So you have those controls like the mute and mute, stop video, security, participant, new share, pause share, and more. So if you like to pause this share, all you need to do is just click on the pause share. And of course, if you need to stop this share, just click on stop share. But actually, there are other options that you can explore. If you are presenting a file with an audio, you must go to share sound so that they can hear the sound, or else it will just be playing and they will not be able to pick the sound. And so once you're done with your presentation, all you need to do is click on the stop share and you're back. So once you click on the stop share, you're back onto the main room, and that's what you can have. So cancel that. Now the next thing we need to look at is the breakout session. Now you can split people or students into virtual breakout groups up to about 50 separate sessions, and then you can go back and forth between them just as you would in a real classroom environment. So you can use the Zoom breakout room functionality to have students do group work, and as the instructor, as the facilitator, the lecturer, you can join breakout rooms, broadcast messages to the breakout rooms, and end the breakout sessions when it is time to regroup. So once you're about to do that, so just click on the breakout rooms, and of course it's going to ask you how many rooms would you like to create. So you can create 5 breakout rooms. You can either assign automatically, assign manually, or let participants choose rooms. These are all options that is available to us. And of course, once you are about to create, just click on create. So, and of course, you could see 5 rooms have been created, and this student has been put in to room 5. So there's one person into room 5. So you could assign, you could delete, and of course you could rename. So these are all options. And of course you can actually add more rooms, you can recreate, you can open all rooms. So these are options. And of course, if you go to this gear icon, you can allow participants to choose rooms by clicking on this box. You can allow participants to return to the main session at any time. If you check this, you can automatically move all assigned participants into the breakout rooms. And of course, you can also choose close breakout rooms after a particular minute. Okay, you're going to break into groups right now, and in 30 minutes, you're going to come back to the main session. So you can set the time, 30 minutes. So this is going to notify the students when the time is up, that they should be rounding off whatever they're doing in that breakout room. And of course, there's a countdown after closing breakout room, which is this. And of course, you can set a timer. How many counts down? This is 10 seconds before the room is shut down and everybody gets back to the main session. So this provides a good opportunity for students to actually work in groups while using Zoom. Now, another feature that we can see here is reactions. Now, reactions help to provide non-verbal feedback or reactions to the host of the meeting. All right, so students can actually give non-verbal feedback by clicking on any of this. They could clap, they could thumb up, they could show heart, they love what's going on, okay, they're happy, they could open mouth in amazement, you could ask things, and of course they could say yes, yes, you could know how many yes, how many no's, all right. They could ask you to go slower or faster. Of course, they could also raise hands, to ask questions, and they can also lower their hands. So these are some of the features that we have on the reactions. Now, importantly also, if you are facilitating or delivering a lecture to a large number of students, like over 1,000, now you may want to stream this session via Facebook or YouTube. And of course, how you can do this is go back to the profile, your profile, and of course, enable Facebook and YouTube. I've only enabled Facebook in this wise so that I can stream live on Facebook. So if I've enabled YouTube, of course, you're going to see YouTube also, and of course, you can just pick either of Facebook or YouTube. And now, once this is all done and you're done with the lectures, the next thing to do is to end the session. So when you click on end session, it's going to ask you, do you want to end meetings for all? You want to leave the meeting? If you leave the meeting, it's going to transfer that host control to one of the participants. But if you click on end meeting for all, of course, it ends meeting for everyone. I hope this has been worthwhile. Thank you for listening.